Good afternoon, I'm Malcolm Jordan and this is your Midday News Fix for Friday the 18th of July. The Prime Minister is talking up the government's new Auckland Science Institute, labelled the New Zealand Institute for Advanced Technology. It's funded to the tune of $231 million over 4 years, with a focus on breakthrough tech like AI, quantum computing and synthetic biology. Chris Luxon says its core aim is bolstering New Zealand's tech exports.
This is a new public research organisation dedicated to turning world-class advanced science like AI and quantum computing and technologies into commercial success.
China's ambassador is calling for our two countries to continue working together at a time when the world seems to be threatening to regress to the law of the jungle. Ambassador Wang Xiaolong speaking at the 11th China Business Summit in Auckland this morning. He says New Zealand is at the forefront of China's Western relationships. But Xiaolong warns global cooperation and the UN are under threat.
As China and New Zealand, we are both stakeholders and we both have agency. The stake is simply too high for us not to play our roles.
The Electricity Authority has announced changes aiming to make connecting to the electricity network easier. It wants to reduce the time and cost of connecting to things like public EV charging stations and solar farms. With more, business reporter Michael Sergel.
Rules around how the 29 lines companies process and price new connections are being standardised. The authority says this will be vital to getting more power into the network, bringing costs down. New timeframes and processes are being introduced for larger users wanting to connect, like EV charge point operators or public transport operators wanting to electrify their fleet.
Don't expect butter to get much cheaper anytime soon. Latest Stats NZ figures show Kiwi consumers are now consistently paying more than twice as much for butter as a decade ago. Supermarkets and suppliers have been under pressure to lower prices. But Infometrics principal economist Brad Olsen says prices are being driven by international supply and demand. He says Europe's producing less and Asia is consuming more.
Higher dairy demand across the world, but not quite as much dairy supply from a number of other producing nations, is meaning that there is a bit of a limitation there.
Meanwhile, a breakthrough in the long-running dispute with Canada over our dairy exports. Canada's agreed to meet its obligations under the CPTPP trade deal, worth about $157 million to our dairy exporters. And the UK government is lowering the voting age from the next election to let 16 and 17-year-olds have their say, bringing it into line with Scotland and Wales. The Kiwi musician who founded iconic band Fat Freddy's Drop has died. Chris Whaiumu was also known as Moo and DJ Fitchy. To sport. The Open Golf Major at Royal Portrush marks the first time that 5 or more players have tied for the opening round lead since 1938. Jacob Sco-Ollison, Lee Hao Tong, Christian Bezuidenhout, Mats Fitzpatrick and Harris English have carded 4 under par 67s. Women's marathon world record holder Ruth Chepngetich has been provisionally suspended after returning a positive doping test for a banned diuretic. And rapper Snoop Dogg has become a co-owner and investor in English Championship football side Swansea. I'm Malcolm Jordan, that's your latest news fix. We'll be back with the next update at 5 p.m. from the Newstalk ZB newsroom.